to Tesla. Tesla hosted its 2023 Investor Day yesterday. CEO Elon Musk laid out plans for the company's future, did not get into too many specifics. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian for the top takeaways here. Pras, you were tuning into this. I was tuning in for as long as I could before the Marino disgust meme really popped up in my head, and I just had to take the headphones off here.
I'm going to spare you the 4 hours that I had to spend watching this presentation, I'll call it. So some key takeaways for me, number one, I would say is they didn't show us the design for the Gen 3 car, the Generation 3 platform, they call it. They talked about the platform. We didn't even see the platform. We just heard about the fact that it'll be cheaper to make, require a smaller footprint on the manufacturing side, and use that new drive motors that don't use any rare earth metals. Okay, great. But we didn't see the car, actually. On the positive side, they did announce a Mexico factory. That was sort of the worst kept secret right now because we'd heard that Mexican officials were talking about it openly. So they announced it yesterday, a new gigafactory there in the state of Monterrey, which is a big industrial state in northern Mexico, so not surprising they located there. Only 300 miles or so from Austin, actually. And then the master plan part 3. This is sort of the pie in the sky, white paper-esque sort of presentation that they put out, talking about how, this is how we're going to decarbonize and sort of sustainably fuel ourselves. We need to renewably power the grid. We need to change all cars to electrics. We need to switch to heat pumps. Use high temperature hydrogen or use hydrogen to fuel the high temperature applications and so somehow sustainably fuel boats and cars, right? Like this is stuff that on boats and planes. This is stuff that's so out there. We have a slide here with like the sort of the percentages of energy you would take that you'd save by doing these things. But we're talking about things that are maybe 50 years down the line. So great white paper, but not exactly something that's very applicable in the near term, other than the fact that we're at maybe almost 10% EVs penetration in the globe. Like, we need to go a long way before that's even going to make a dent into decarbonization.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the master plans that they've presented before have been sort of similar, right? These sort of grand visions for the future. The stock is down like 7-8% in pre-market trading. It has surged this year, of course, from its lows. It's up something like 65% for the year to date. So expectations seem to be high going into this. But what did investors really think they were going to get here? Did they really think they were going to get more details on the new lower cost car?
Yes.
So that was the real
100%,
expectation.
100% yes. They said that in the investor relations team sent out the email or the blast that said we were going to reveal our Gen 3.
Oh, so this is really a failure on the part of Tesla in managing expectations around this event.
That's what I would take my take on it when they said they would reveal their Gen 3 platform. We didn't see the platform. We just heard about like some specifics about it. We didn't see anything. We saw a car with a sheet on it.
Yeah, they basically dressed up a car in like a makeshift Casper Halloween costume and led us to believe what it might be in the future. I mean, the best we could do is try to kind of outline it and say maybe it's a coupe, maybe it's a SUV or truck or something.
And there was 2 cars that they showed underneath a sheet. One looked like a van of some sort, on top of the Cybertruck in the truck area, and then that possible 3rd generation car at the extreme end of that one slide. You saw just a smaller car with a white sheet over it. When Franz von Holzhausen, who's the chief designer, mentioned that we're not going to show you the car today, there was kind of audible gasps and boos, slight gasps in the audience, because people are like, what? That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
I'm not sure if they last second didn't want to show it or who knows what's going on, but they didn't show it.
And when they talk about the big plans for the company, included in that is the ability to make, 20 million cars a year. How many cars are they making right now a year?
So as last year, they made 1.3, 1.4 million cars.
Okay, that's a big jump, right? It's a longer term goal, but are we getting any sort of meat on the bone in terms of, yes, we're hearing about the factory in Mexico, but what kind of further capacity does Tesla need to meet that ambitious goal?
They talked about they need 12 factories to do this, by the end of the decade in order to make 20 million a year. If they made 20 million a year, that's be almost double what Toyota made globally, right? Like, this is a huge amount of cars to make, let alone EVs, right? So the materials alone is a big issue. Tesla's talked about how they have efficiencies in building cars. They now think that they can actually build cars in half the space. That Gen 3 car will take half the space in a factory to make, be very, very easy to make with less complexity. So that's what they're kind of banking on, is these sort of bigger efficiencies. Yeah. They talked about that, and they are an efficient company. They do have the best margins. They don't, sales and general administration costs are very low. So they have that going for themselves. But like you said, Julie, they need 4 words. We need 5 other factories. They need to announce these factories and how fast they'll be online before they get that 20 million. I think Musk even sort of hinted before it was aspirational, right? It was like, this is the goal. It was we want to be there, but not that we will be there.
This was one of those events, Pras, where I wish we could have gone live with a vibe check or something, because it didn't seem like they were exuding confidence. This wasn't the same type of product unveil that we've seen from a tech company in Apple, where everybody's excited about what they're bringing to the investment community. It lacked.
I totally agree from an investment point of view, from a car fan point of view. I hear people, engineers talking about how this is pretty cool. I want to work at a place that thinks this big picture, pie in the sky sort of cross-functional teams working together to build these software and product solutions together. That part, I guess, is like almost a good recruiting event. But from an investor point of view, it seems it's lacking details, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Pras, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And obviously investors think that too, because the stock is down.